G'day viewers, we've made it to the end of another week. How has it treated you? I hope reasonably well. Because, you know, ups and downs for everyone around the world. Some more downs than ups, some more ups than downs. I hope you have had more ups than downs. There's two big things I want to talk about. One's a mostly up and one is very much a mostly down. Look, maybe I'll start with the mostly up and then just bring it down at the end. It's hard to make this decision. But in Australia, finally, marriage equality became the law of the land. After the ridiculous, stupid, expensive, pointless, public, non-binding vote that cost over $100 million, and that vote was resoundingly in favour of marriage equality. Incidentally, what every single fucking survey had said. In other words, the mood of the Australian electorate was already known. There was no need to do this stupid shit because everyone knew what the majority of the population wanted. But we had this stupid public vote survey, whatever the fuck is the right term for it, legacy of Tony Abbott, the worthless piece of shit, trying to delay the inevitable as much as possible. See, Tony Abbott talked this talk when he was Prime Minister about, I want the Australian people to decide. But he was never actually even going to go ahead with a public vote. It was always a delaying tactic with him. Because he is a worthless, spineless, lying piece of shit. But then he got knocked off by his own party. And then Malcolm Turnbull, who had always been in favour of marriage equality, but is also a spineless, worthless piece of shit, went, I'm going to go ahead with this vote thing, rather than just have the Parliament do its fucking job and pass a fucking law. He went with this pointless, non-binding, expensive vote, which delivered the result everyone knew it would. And then both the Senate and the lower house voted and said, yes, we're going to make this law. And by the time you see this video, there will actually be the law of the land. There will no longer be this ridiculous shit written into our laws that marriage is between a man and a woman. Marriage is between two adults. Their gender is not relevant. And it's like, having seen this go ahead, like, it was fucking awful. The amount of awful shit that got said by the No campaign was fucking vile. And the weirdest thing about it to me is that literally every single aspect of the No campaign was a lie. No, and I don't mean I disagree with them and therefore are liars. I don't mean they exaggerated some things and therefore they are liars. That literally every single public utterance by the No campaign was a fucking lie. Because the vote was on one thing and one thing only. Should we have marriage equality? Should we get rid of the gender restrictions on marriage? That was the beginning, middle and end of the vote. And the No campaign never went ahead and said the gays don't deserve to get married. The gays do not deserve the same rights as heteros. They never once said that. They went with irrelevance and lies all the time. They said, if you allow gays to get married, it means this, this and this, which is a fucking lie. You allow marriage equality, and what you have is marriage equality. And while this whole shit going on annoyed me, I did like the fact that all the ridiculous bullshit the Conservatives were trying to push, you know what? While we're doing this, we should enshrine discrimination into law. I mean, you know, just because the vast majority of people want laws that ensure discrimination doesn't happen, we should take this opportunity to discriminate under law. We should say, if someone says, as a result of my religion, I choose to treat that person like shit, that should be legal. And that all got voted down, which was nice. And the whole thing was very conflicting to me because there was so much just vile lies and hatred, and I saw the pain it was causing my queer friends, and I was like, I don't feel like I get to be happy about this. But it was somewhat relieving to see both my friends and various celebrities and public figures be ecstatically happy at the votes. Like, that was a sigh of relief. Like, it never should have happened like this. It should have been a simple thing of the government recognising a majority of the population clearly wants this, so we shall amend the laws to reflect what the majority of the people want. But we're sort of run by gutless, spineless losers, so we had what we had. But it's done now. And to me, the most interesting aspect was, again, former Prime Minister and lying, spineless piece of shit, Tony Abbott, didn't actually vote on the motion. He abstained. What that actually means, he ran like a gutless fucking loser. He ran out of the parliament when the vote was happening, so he wouldn't be there when the vote happened, because he's a gutless fucking piece of shit. His own electorate voted 75% in favour of marriage equality. His fucking lies all along were, I want the people to decide. Well, the people fucking decided, you worthless fucking garbage, and then you spat in the people's faces like we always knew you would, because you're fucking garbage, Abbott. You're not just garbage, you're a coward. You're a worthless, cowardly loser. You're fucking shit, and history will record you are without a doubt the worst Prime Minister this country has ever had, and you are an utter failure, and your career will end with you being the most pathetic, worthless loser the Australian Parliament has ever seen. You're fucking shit, Abbott. You are worthless, you are a coward, you are a liar, you are a hypocrite. You are fucking scum, okay? Man, I'm glad I got that off my chest, because that guy really fucking shits me. Just below him in who shits me status is current Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, because he's a spineless, two-faced liar. He's trying to claim credit like, yay, this wonderful thing I did is now making marriage equality law. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. You should have shown some spine and not had this ridiculous thing that put gay people through so much pain and suffering publicly, only to get the relief when we all knew what was going to come through came through. But you didn't give people anything. You gave, well, you did. You gave people pain. You gave people torture. You gave people suffering. You're a fucking spineless piece of shit, Turnbull. You don't get to go, yay, we have marriage equality because of me. No, you gutless prick. If you'd have done the right thing and said, we're just going to put this forward in Parliament for a vote and say, hey, parliamentarians, what do you think the Australian people want? But you didn't do that. You're a fucking coward. You don't get to say this is a win for you. I've seen shit-eating conservative columnists go, oh, what more do you want? Turnbull supported marriage equality. What more do you want? Not to have this ridiculous, pointless, divisive, expensive, hateful fucking vote. Want politicians to do their fucking job and pass laws that the people want passed, that they know people want passed. But fucking Turnbull was too gutless to just step up and say, everyone wants this, so it's the way it's gonna be. So you cause people unnecessary pain, Turnbull. You don't deserve to call this a win for you. You're a fucking loser. You will go down in history as a loser. Possibly slightly less of a loser than Tony Abbott, but you're still a loser. You still suck. You don't get to claim this as a win, as you being a champion for marriage equality, because you did this begrudgingly. You did this in the most cowardly way imaginable. You're a fucking worthless piece of shit. And you, not at the absolute bottom, you know, you get to claim you're not the absolute bottom. And in fact, even the 4 parliamentarians who voted no, they're not at the bottom. The gutless pricks who abstained. In other words, they ran out because they were too gutless to go on the record as saying they don't think gay people deserve rights, and they abstained, which means they ran like cowardly pieces of shit. They're vermin, and they should be remembered as gutless, worthless vermin. Ugh. And like I said, I'm really glad that we have marriage equality now, and I'm glad to see my queer friends being happy about this, but there should not have been this ridiculous, drawn-out, painful path to reach that. Politicians should have done the right thing. They failed, but we got there anyway, despite the failure of our government. And hey, speaking of failures of government, I'm just going to round out generally with Donald Trump. As usual, it's impossible for a week to go by without him doing something astoundingly fucked, whether it's supporting child molesters or supporting white supremacists. And this week, he's declared the US will recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, whereas traditionally, politically, Tel Aviv had been regarded as the capital because Jerusalem's somewhat contested with Palestinians and Jewish people, and actually even Christians, but not in any real sense. But as you say, this is tantamount to trying to incite war in the Middle East. And when you look at it, wow, really, Trump, are you that scared of the criminal investigation of you that you'll start war in the Middle East as a distraction? The answer is apparently yes, which is incredibly disturbing. Like, I knew he was a narcissist, I knew he's a fucking piece of shit, and I knew he didn't give a shit about anyone, but really? Doing something that could start war in the Middle East just to try and distract from the fact that your criminal activities are about to catch up with you? That's pretty full on. And I just want to close out with a little thought for people who don't realise why American evangelicals are so supportive of Israel. And it is not because they like Israelis or Jewish people. It is because they want the end of the world to happen. Because they, in their deluded, fucking deranged beliefs, think, Armageddon means Jesus returns to earth. The Christians all get what they want. We get the rapture, and it's wonderful. But Armageddon has to happen first. And according to the way we read the Bible, it has to have Jerusalem being the capital for Israel. And I am not making this up. I am not exaggerating this. In case you didn't know, the reason evangelicals are so supportive of Israel is, in their mind, the state of Israel needs to exist for Armageddon and the rapture to happen. These people actually want to hasten the end of the world because it fits their lunatic interpretation of the Bible. Now, Israelis are just very pragmatic, and they take support no matter what, for what reason. And I don't actually think Israelis want to start a nuclear war. I don't think they see this evangelical view as real. But it's pretty fucking disturbing that this power group in the US makes decisions purely based on wanting to bring forward Armageddon. So that's a little thought to take to bed with you, boys and girls. The reason Donald Trump wants to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel is he wants you all to die. Incidentally, I finally got my new computer working, and this is on my new camera, which shoots in 4K, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell any difference. But hey, maybe, and if it works, and if it edits and renders right in my computer, I'll do more flashy stuff with my flashy 4K camera, and you might get some sexy looking videos coming up. So I hope you stick around, share this with your friends, tell them that they need to join in the angry world, and we'll all be angry together, and I'll see you soon.